Hey there, folks. Julian here. So there is no new regular episode this week. I'll get into it next episode, but kind of going through a lot and just needed a weekend where I didn't have anything to edit. So, like I texted Justin last minute and said, "Hey, can we push the Suffer Select and this week's episode and just skip?" And he was like, "Cool, man. That's no problem." And I was like, "Sweet." But I don't like having gaps in the program schedule. So what I have here is I have unlocked the first episode of Cinemorons. This is normally an executive producer patron tier exclusive episode thing. But this is serving a few reasons. One, it allows me to shamelessly self-promote the Patreon, because I legit think that Cinemorons is becoming one of my favorite things that we do. I originally thought that getting Justin to watch movies might end up being a very one-sided type of conversation where I kind of just talk at Justin about movies, but he's been surprisingly super engaged with it, and we've had like some really fun conversations over some movies so far. And this is the first episode, and I think it's a lot of fun. The other reason is that I want to see what happens if we get dinged on like Spotify and YouTube because of the clips and stuff like that. Because this was never intended to be unlocked, but this is kind of an experiment. I mean, gayest episode ever uses clips all the time, and they seem fine. So I'm hoping it'll be okay. It's not like we're monetized anywhere or anything, but still, I don't know. It's something that I'm curious to see what happens. Like if we get like, a slap on the wrist or, like oh, you do that again. And, we're taking your show down. Hopefully it's not that extreme. Cause I feel that it's within the realm of fair use, but who even knows what fair use is anymore. But yeah, if you have not heard this already on Patreon, enjoy this, bonus episode. Well, I guess it's replacement episode, not bonus, but you know what I mean. We'll be back next week, and yeah, thanks.
You're listening to Cinemorons, a movie and television sharing podcast between two friends, brought to you by the State Select and supported by the executive producer tier on Patreon.
Let's get one thing straight. Guns don't kill people. I do.
Channel 62 has the lowest ratings in the history of television. What they need is a new station manager.
No, not him. Forget it. No way.
A man of action. A man of courage. A man of vision.
What's your name?
Billy.
Billy what?
What they get is a man so desperate, he'll put anyone on the air.
Hey, Stanley.
Yeah, George?
How would you like your own TV show?
Okay. You get the drink from the fire hose! Okay, you ready? Yeah! Open wide!
He's Conan, the librarian.
Today we're teaching poodles how to fly.
We beat out the networks.
George Newman. He starts where the others stop.
We're the #1 station in town.
Orion Pictures presents Weird Al Yankovic in UHF, the movie.
Well, welcome, executive producers, to the inaugural episode of Cinemorons.
Yep. That's this show.
That is this show.
We sure gave it a name.
We sure did. A name, I might add, that Justin did not like.
I did. I still kind of don't, but that's sort of why I like it at the same time. Because
Okay.
it fits perfectly because I don't watch movies.
Right.
Yeah. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more I thought about it, the more I liked it. For that reason.
Yeah. And I love movies, but I also don't speak about them in like a really educated manner.
Oh boy, do I not
I watch
either.
them in a very like surface level way.
Yeah.
I like to be entertained. I like to be entertained by lots of different things. I mean, I like a lot of different movies. I like dramas. I like romance. I like comedy is my favorite. And of course, like, sci-fi and fantasy and stuff like that. Like most of what once I did my huge like movie purge when I moved into this house, most of the stuff that I still have is either sci-fi action like MCU stuff or Lord of the Rings or The Matrix or comedy. Almost entirely.
Yeah.
There's a handful of dramas still in there, but not that many.
You did take a huge risk with this one by showing me a comedy, because I am unbelievably harsh on comedies.
I did. And
yes.
what I wanted to like kind of get off my chest, and I meant to mention this before we even like when we announced the show, because we're watching UHF.
Yes.
UHF is my favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
And I'm going to be showing Justin a lot of my favorite movies over the course of this series. But I want to be clear, and I think this wouldn't even factor it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to love these movies or sometimes even like them.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I think you're going to fucking hate them. And that's
it's
fine.
possible.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Oh, that's okay by me too, because there's going to be stuff that I show that will probably be like, what the fuck is this? Just like the video games we play sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some things that will possibly hurt you.
Yeah. I'm sure.
And there's going to be some stuff that just bores the shit out of you, I'm sure. This one though, I mean, I'm gonna wait. We haven't talked about this at all. So I'm gonna get some stuff out of the way first, but I wanted to lead with this one for a few reasons. One, again, my favorite movie. Two, deeply influential on what I bring to the table for the Stage Select, like just humor-wise.
Yeah, I can see it.
And three, even though you are very harsh on comedy, and we do have like a lot of breaks with what we agree on what is funny.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this might be up your alley. So we'll wait and see. But UHF was released July 21st, 1989. Now I will say I know a lot about this movie because I've watched it probably almost 50 times.
Yeah.
But I've also watched it with like the commentary on, and like Weird Al's commentary on this movie is literally just him reading off like all the facts you could ever want. Like he gives you locations and addresses of like the places where they filmed in Oklahoma. So if you want to go visit, you can go visit the actual places if they're still there.
Yeah.
And also I like around 2010 I went to a screening of UHF that had him and his agent, who also, or his manager rather, who was also like the co-writer and the guy who plays Gandhi in the commercial. There, and they answered questions like after the movie.
All right, yeah.
So like I've got a lot of like UHF lore just like kind of tucked away.
So 89, that would have been like pretty much like peak Weird Al at that point. Like
peak Weird Al. That's actually like a big reason why they decided to make the movie, because he was coming off of Dare to Be Stupid.
Right.
And they actually shopped the script around for a few years before it finally got filmed.
I'm sure.
But the thing is that 1989 was kind of a banner year for movies. So I like notable releases that came around the time that this movie was released. Batman.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of a biggie.
Kind of a big deal.
Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, also a pretty big
License
deal.
to Kill, which I don't know if that was necessarily like a big box office draw, but it was a James Bond movie.
It's a James Bond movie, though. Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally, which,
that was a big one.
Huge juggernaut. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Big movie.
And I didn't write it down, but also like right after UHF came out, Weekend at Bernie's came out.
Oh God, Weekend at Bernie's,
which is a personal favorite. Actually, I prefer Weekend at Bernie's too.
I don't know if I have seen them on some occasion. I don't know if I've ever watched them in their entirety.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like Weekend at Bernie's 2 in particular is like, I haven't watched it in a very long time. I bet it's super offensive now because like the whole thing is that they're using voodoo magic to like animate Bernie's corpse long after he was like buried.
Yeah.
So just that alone.
Oh yeah,
is
that
like,
alone probably dicey. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say though, I'm fresh off of another viewing of UHF. I watched it like this evening. And I think this speaks to Weird Al.
Yeah.
Weird Al is not an offensive person.
Yeah, it does. There was nothing in there that I was like, oh boy, yeah, you wouldn't do that now. Like there was nothing in there like that. Like it was.
I mean, the only thing, you've got a guy in brown face playing Gandhi.
That, and I guess there is like the like Asian stereotype type thing.
There's one particular joke, but I still, like, in the context, I think it's very funny.
It's still good. Like it's fine. Like like it's nothing like I was like up in arms by like, oh no, ooh, you can't. Most of it I was like, no, this is fine, because like even like I guess other than the Gandhi thing, the like even the Asian guy's pretty treated with a good deal of respect for the most part. Like he's
absolutely.
like it's
he's not the brunt of the the butt of the joke. He is the one making the jokes.
One. Yes, it works. It's fine.
Yeah. I guess I should ask before we get deep into the movie, Justin, what are your opinions of Weird Al Yankovic just in general?
That's complicated. So, I don't mind Weird Al. I liked them when I was a lot younger, when I was, I don't know, whenever I was watching MTV, but I will say I usually was disappointed when his version of I don't remember what it's called now, but his version of Smells Like Teen Spirit would come on, because I liked the original song better when I was like 5 or 6 or whatever that was. And I was always like, oh, it's the Weird Al one again. Oh,
see, I always had a dream of owning my own radio station and playing Weird Al, like randomly playing Weird Al versions of songs, because for that, right?
Yeah.
To have people like, oh man, here comes Smells Like Teen Spirit, then it's like, oh, it's Weird Al.
Yeah.
Because his stuff doesn't get played on the radio very often. I think maybe White and Nerdy might have broken containment enough to get played.
White and Nerdy got a pretty good bit there for a little while. I keep thinking
I feel like Yabba Dabba Doo now might have.
I keep thinking Amish Paradise was like
Amish Paradise probably
was a big one. Like now that one I liked, like when it came out, more than the original song, I guess, but I had heard the original song a bunch of times too, so it was a whole thing. That one controversial in the eyes of Coolio. But I don't mind Weird Al. I've always kind of found them, and don't take offense to this, a little cheesy.
I mean,
the older I get, and that's just kind of what they are. But they're always like, they always seem like the nicest dude, like incredibly genuine guy. Like
everything that I have seen, Weird Al seems to be like just a legit, like good person that nobody has anything bad to say about.
Absolutely,
which is really cool. Like I would probably be pretty heartbroken if something came out about Weird Al. That would be one that would really devastate me
for sure. I could see it. But comedy wise,
I'll never forget.
Go ahead.
Real quick, I'll never forget, like on the VH1 Behind the Music, when they were interviewing Judy Tenuta, and she said, "Oh, I had to talk him down from a real big sugar high one time."
Yeah,
like that's kind of like he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do drugs, he doesn't drink, but he does love sugar. So like, and I was like, I can relate.
But like comedy wise, I don't always gel with them. But like they're fine. They're totally fine. Like which is kind of not to spoil it, but this is kind of where I land on this movie. Like I'm like, yeah, it's fine. For the most part, it's fine. There's, I guess we can get into it. I don't know how in depth you want to go here.
I mean, we can set it up. Weird Al plays George Newman, who is a very imaginative slacker, basically. Mainly because he gets so lost in his own world that he kind of doesn't keep up with what's going on around him. Goes through jobs, like he changes his socks, basically. It starts out, it was actually kind of funny, like watching it this time, because I just came off of playing Indiana Jones and Great Circle, because it does open with like a really spot on spoof of the beginning of Raiders.
Oh yeah, for sure. I will say, like, overall, it's a very bit heavy movie. Like it is like bits. It's pretty much all bits. I was not super high on most of like the movie parody stuff. This like they all had like spots where I was like, okay, yeah, that's okay. Like this one has the spot where he's just crossing through a bunch of street signs, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
a personal favorite for me is him very carefully weighing the sandbag and then just like pausing, looking at it, and then just throwing it away and just grabbing the treasure, which in this case is an Oscar.
Yeah.
Something that's also kind of funny because like there's no way this movie was sniffing anywhere close to an Oscar.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, I as soon as it started and I was kind of like, oh boy, here we go. Like I won't lie, the first like the opening 15-20 minutes of it setting up, I was like, oh
that's
boy.
A lot.
I'm not really sure about this one actually. This is a little, it might be a little too cheesy for me.
But not a fan of the Twinkie Wiener sandwich.
It again a little too cheesy for me. It's very weird in Weird Al's wheelhouse.
I've had one of those.
All of it was absolutely all of it was, but like yeah, I was there were bits and pieces where I was just like, oh, I don't know, I don't know about this actually.
Yeah, because basically, you know, the movie opens up. They're working at a burger place. They get fired very quickly. It's George and his friend Bob.
Yeah.
Who and it's kind of funny because like it's one of those things where it's like, Bob, why are you constantly like starting jobs with George? Why don't you go do your own thing?
Yeah.
And then maybe you'd be able to keep a job on your own.
Yeah.
You know, Bobo, I think you're developing a bad attitude here. You see, Bob, you gotta look at the big picture. You gotta grab life by the lips and yank as hard as you can. See anything on the want ads?
Yeah, but nothing with the prestige of working at Burger World.
But no, they're kind of in it to win it together.
Apparently,
so they're always
either
like,
that or he just keeps getting him fired with him somehow. I don't know.
Well, he does, but that's not what I'm saying. Is like, Bob, don't
get
apply
the same job
for the same
them.
job.
Yeah. Either that or he's getting. It's one of those movies. Don't think too hard about anything.
Absolutely.
Happening.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
Yeah. We meet Terry very quickly, which is George's girlfriend, who basically like everybody's kind of, you know, on him about like, you need to like focus and like either try to make your imagination work for you or like just get more serious.
Terry is played by Victoria Jackson.
Yes.
Who I immediately was like, okay, I know this person, I recognize that voice, but where do I know them from? They were on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, she was a pretty big SNL person, but I didn't really see much of her after SNL.
No, and really outside of SNL either.
Yeah.
They didn't, as far as I remember, they didn't have like a whole lot of stuff going on. So it was interesting to see them here. Sadly, when I looked them up, I also learned that they're currently dying, which was really depressing. I was like, oh, that's really sad. Because
apparently Jennifer Tilly and Ellen both auditioned for this role.
Okay.
I could absolutely see Jennifer Tilly in that role. I can't see Ellen at all.
Yeah, no, that would be weird.
You know, I'm trying to think to like Ellen, like when she was on her sitcom, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's just not the right energy.
No, that wouldn't work. Yeah.
No. Jennifer Tilly is much more of like a sex bomb.
Yeah.
Or like a bombshell, but she does have she has a similar like delivery to Victoria Jackson, but they did say they went with Victoria because like just her overall demeanor was more what they were looking
for sure. And yeah, she kind of has like almost a girl next door kind of quality for this movie, at least. So it works out a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I want to say just real quick, because like kind of back on just like the Weird Al thing, is that so my opinion on Weird Al, like you know, obviously I love him, I love his music. I think that he's kind of an underrated musician. I'm not saying comedian, I'm saying musician. Like I think his ability to come up with these lyrics and the music and also just adapt his delivery to fit the artist that he's parodying is pretty impressive.
It's
and
pretty
I think that also works really well in the movie, where he's got like pretty surprisingly good like comedic acting chops.
Yeah.
We'll talk. I'll probably mention it again later, but I can't believe that he never took another stab at making a movie. Even though this one flopped, it did become like a huge cult classic, and there was definitely like a time there where I feel that he was bigger than he ever was, like right around the time of White and Nerdy, that I think that he could have done something, or even just like another TV show or something. Because I think he's got just a really good head for it, and a really good. He's just really well suited to it. Yeah, and he's only done cameos since UHF. Yeah, but we're also introduced to George's aunt and uncle, who are very very typical. I actually meant to look him up because I've never looked him up, but the guy who plays his uncle, he has a very recognizable voice, and I feel I must have heard him in cartoons, but I don't know for sure.
Possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. He's not the same guy, but he reminds me of the fucking dad from Everybody Loves Raymond. Just demeanor wise. Sure. I don't know why. Yeah. It's sad that I know the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond, but my mom watches a lot of sitcoms, so what can you do?
I mean, wasn't that Jerry Stiller?
Mm-mm. That's Seinfeld you're thinking of. Seinfeld was...
Oh, but I thought he was also in... Oh, no, he was in King of Queens.
Actually, the dad from...
I know who you're talking
Everybody
about.
Loves Raymond, I believe, is the guy who played Young He was Frankenstein in Young Frankenstein, I think. Keep thinking that's right.
Yes, you're right. Not Carl Reiner, but he's one of the Reiners.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. His uncle is basically just he's a quote unquote businessman, but he really just does a bunch of gambling.
He just gambles,
Yeah. It's very 80s excess.
Yeah.
Basically, he wins this UHF station, Channel 62, in this poker game. And, because George happens to be looking for a job, and the wife, likes the idea of them owning their own TV station. Yeah. They let George run it, which, I mean, it's a very quick way to get to the meat of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which is,
once you get there, then it starts. That's when you're off to the races with this one, I think.
Absolutely.
A little bit more.
Yeah. And I guess, see, this is one of those movies where it's it's hard to explain to people because even for I'm 7 years older than you. I remember having a television that had VHF and UHF settings, but I know we never changed it to UHF. So I've never seen anything on UHF. And so then it's okay, well, I guess how I would explain it is it's sort of like cable access, but I don't know if cable access exists anymore either.
I don't think it does. No, I don't even know if I had that cable access or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
I'm like you. I remember there being a separate channel knob on my grandpa's old TV that I would play Nintendo on, but that's about my exposure to that stuff. So yeah.
And I think even by 89, that was sort of almost a little too late in the era for this to even be a thing.
Yeah.
So the premise of the movie, even just by its nature, is almost dated by the release date of the movie.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, it's a really rundown little podunk station. They visit it at night first, and they meet Philo, chief engineer. I had seen this movie probably a good 10, 15 plus times before I realized who the actor who played Philo was.
Okay.
He is Luke of the fabled Luke and Laura of General Hospital, which was the power couple of General Hospital.
I see.
I think I've told this story on NWP before, but I don't know if I've said it to you, but I missed the first or the second semester of my freshman year of high school. I was just out with vertigo.
Yeah.
And while I was out, with nothing to do, I got really into General Hospital.
You'll have that.
It was every day at 2. Because I also started waking up about 1 because my sleep schedule got so out of whack.
You'll have that. Yeah.
And Luke and Laura had actually come back that year because I think they were big in on the show in the early 70s or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe not that long ago, but it had been a while since they'd been on the show.
Okay.
And so then, a few years later, after I was watching it again for however many time, it's is that Luke?
Yeah.
And then I looked up, I was holy shit, that's Luke.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would have said oh wow, that's Luke.
Yeah.
I was a good little boy back then.
Sure.
But yeah, so apparently he actually really wanted to be cast in this movie because he was a huge fan. And also was just so different from what he had been doing.
For sure. Yeah.
Hold these. No. Like this.
What are you doing?
Oh, I just want to see if my interocitor can withstand a sudden charge of 60,000 volts.
What?
Yeah. It works.
And he's just a really good, typical, like, mad science type guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's his role.
I think his delivery is really good. He's just like very matter of fact and
right.
You know, just there to do like wacky hijinks, like when you need him. Like he's a very good plot device.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then like George and Bob come up to the station. You know, they introduce themselves to the receptionist, played by Fran Drescher. I'm not sure if this was her first role, but it's damn near close.
Yeah, my immediate thought was like, how long has Fran Drescher been the exact same age? Because like it's kind of
she has
wild.
aged very well.
Yeah, she's just the same age for fucking 30 years now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like even back then she was this age. It's just whatever age she is. That's it.
Yeah,
it's Fran Drescher.
I'm a huge Fran Drescher fan. I loved The Nanny. I actually really love the voice. The voice does it for me.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I think she's like really sexy too, partially because of the voice.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of weird, but
I know. Yeah.
Whatever works, man.
It's like that, you know. You know, whenever I mean, you probably don't, but like, you know, they'll do like cartoon parody porn, right? Of like from like cartoon TV shows, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And every time that I see like a Simpsons parody porn, I'm like, ew, why?
It's always
like,
weird, right?
It's like Marge is like the least like
I don't
sexy,
get those
like
ones.
But Lois Griffin though. Griffin though.
Sure, I could see that. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It's weird. I don't know.
Lois Griffin also has a similar voice. I'm just gonna put that out there.
She was. Yep, she does.
Yeah,
you're right.
Her name is Pamela Finkelstein. She's pretty been out of shape about getting introduced to yet another new boss because she wants to get promoted to like being on air as the newscaster.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that when you've got a new boss constantly showing up. Because this you know station is circling the tubes. All they do is play like old rerun. They're sort of like Nick and Knight. Like
just all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can I help you?
Hi, I'm George Newman. I'm the new station manager.
You know, when I first took this job, they told me that this position was only temporary, and that eventually, when the time was right, I would be moved up to news, which is really my forte. You know how long I've been working here? 2 years! It's kind of hard to get promoted when every other week you have a new boss. This job really sucks.
I'm blanking here. It's weird because I just like watched the movie and also have got it damn near memorized.
No, they do that and then
they get the package that's supposed to be for Channel 8.
They go he's like, I'll take it there myself, and then that's when you meet kind of the hero of the story, I guess, which Stanley Spadowski, played by Michael Richards.
Yes.
You
also meet the villain of the story.
And the villain,
R.J. Fletcher, who is one of my favorite movie villains.
Yeah, no, he's great. He
chews it up so good.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he's just having a whale of a time.
Yeah, no, he's great. Michael Richards may be the only part of the movie that doesn't hold up is that he's in it. But, you know, what are you going to do? It's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and this was also close to, if not his first like acting role, pretty close. And the reason that he got the job is that Weird Al had seen him stand up, and really liked him, and he almost turned it down. He had like a bout of Bell's palsy at the time, and so he wasn't sure he could do it. And then he just showed up, I think, like, you know, for the casting call, and he nailed it. Yeah. So they went ahead and cast him. And fun fact, they approached Jerry Seinfeld to play Bob.
Really?
And he turned that down.
Interesting.
So this almost ended up being like the first time that those two worked together.
I mean, the main character, Weird Al's name is Newman. Like I couldn't help but notice that. I was like, that's kind of funny that his name is Newman.
Yeah. spelled differently, but is a reference to Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah, sure.
You know, from Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
Also, the show Uncle Nutsy's Clubhouse is apparently a Mad Magazine reference, which
I could believe that. Yeah.
I can absolutely believe that, you know, young Al Yankovic was a huge fan of Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
I was a cracked kid myself. I liked cracked more.
There you go.
I never had a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we established that RJ Fletcher is a piece of shit. Like, just irredeemable. There is nothing.
Yeah, no, he's not good.
About RJ.
That's what's. Yeah, you just want to see him lose. It's good.
He fires Stanley, their janitor, because he accuses him of throwing out a very important report.
Yeah,
and then immediately after he does so, he finds the report on his chair.
Yeah,
and then just laughs about it because evil 80s,
evil 80s. Yes.
You are a worthless human being, Mr.
Spadowski, Stanley Spadowski.
May I call you Stanley?
Okay.
Stanley.
You're fired! But I didn't. Get out! But
People are... I can't believe the incompetence in this place. People like that should be put to sleep.
Well, what do you know? The research file. Here it is. Been sitting here all the time.
It's funny how I grew up, you know, and also just like Gen X kind of grew up with the bad guy was very obviously the rich guy, right? It was always the rich guy. And I don't know how we ended up where we're at right now.
It's a great question, really. Yeah. It's a great question, Julian.
You know, you think about the way that Biff acts in Back to the Future 2, which also came out this year. It came out like in the fall.
Oh, yeah.
In the 80s, like when they flash forward to after he gets all the money, it's like he's literally just Trump.
Yeah.
You know, back
pretty
then.
Much,
And the villain of not Ghostbusters, the villain of Gremlins 2, I mean, he's a pseudo villain. He's not the main villain because the main villain is the Gremlins, but he's also just like a parody of Trump. Like it was everything.
Yeah.
For 30 years and yet somehow like, you know, that type of person is like worshipped now. It's bonkers.
It's wild.
I just don't get it.
Who could? It's dumb.
But George ends up like, you know, feeling sorry for Stanley and hires him as his janitor.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I do find it funny. You know, one of my ideas for the stage select was I want to have like just this weird menagerie of people working for the show.
Yeah.
That are characters. And I find it funny that like the first character that like you brought to us ended up being our janitor, because I was like, this is exactly like the Stanley Spadowski
there you go.
story.
Yeah, I didn't even realize what I was doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he is wearing some sort of like teeth prosthetic.
It seems that way. Yeah. I don't think Michael Richards actually has that much going on, but I don't really know.
It's hard to know because like he definitely put on like a decent amount of weight between this and when Seinfeld started.
Yeah,
because he looks a lot different by the time Seinfeld starts, and it's not that long.
No,
between this and Seinfeld started.
It's early '90s. Seinfeld started, so yeah.
Yeah. Now we have like George and Bob trying to make something out of the station, right? Like they don't want to just be playing reruns all the time. They want to have like some actual programming. So George comes up with Uncle Nutsy's Clubhouse, which is a kid's show, which watching it this time, I was like, this is me and you, and you're Bob.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, you know who that is? That's right, it's your pal, Bobo the Clown! Yay! Hey, Bobo, want to play a game? Okay, look up. Look down. Now look at Mr. Frying Pan. Uh-oh, Bobo fall down, go boom.
Because that's exactly how it would end up going. Like if we tried to do some sort of like show like that. Me being overly
enthusiastic,
and you just being like, sure, I guess. and then me hitting you in the head with a frying pan.
Right. Yeah.
Which still gets me every time.
You like some slapstick comedy. I see that.
I fucking love some slapstick comedy. And also, shout out to their cameraman who never has a line of dialogue in the whole movie, but just has priceless reactions.
Yeah. That guy's good. He's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not to flash forward here. It kind of from here, it's just kind of like it's a lot of bits until you get to like a main like turning point kind of thing where the station is failing.
I would like to point out though that it's an interesting world because obviously once we get to like U-62 taking off, it's all about like the weird programming that they're coming up with. But even before then, this is a world where Spatula City exists.
I was just gonna mention in between the main turning point and there's like two really good bits. There's the used car salesman guy is pretty good.
I'm gonna club this baby seal and make a better deal.
Yes, that guy was pretty good. I more or less got a kick, not even out of that, but just him going over the cars that he had, which was great. He was like, "We got red cars, we got blue cars, we got green cars." I'm just like, "All right, this is good."
Howdy, friends. It's Crazy Ernie from Crazy Ernie's Used Car Emporium. It's a giant supermarket of cars. I got so many cars. People come up to me and say, "Hey, Crazy Ernie, where'd you get all those cars? Looky here. I got red cars. I got green cars. I got enough cars to choke a camel." Tell you what, friends, if nobody comes down and buys a car from me in the next hour, I'm gonna club this baby seal. That's right. I'm gonna club a seal to make a better deal. You know, I'll do it too, because I'm crazy.
And then Spatula City was fantastic. That was like, this is perfect. This is good. My favorite bit was that when they flash forward to the owner of the company and he is just like, you can follow his eyes reading it. I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
And what better way to say I love you than with the gift of a spatula?
Spatula City!
Spatula City!
Hello, this is Cy Greenbloom, president of Spatula City. I like their spatulas so much, I bought the company.
Spatula City, 7 locations. We're in the yellow pages under spatulas.
And it's so deadpan.
Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good. It's really good.
The whole thing is just incredible.
Yep.
What better way to say I love you than with the gift of a spatula?
That's right. And they make good Christmas gifts.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It's very Weird Al humor, but it's good Weird Al humor. Like I said, it fluctuates for me.
Sure.
Yeah, these two were really good though. Those were some of my favorite ones. My actual favorite bit is coming up after the turning point. But yeah,
you know, there's some segments. I will point out that Emo Phillips has a cameo as a shop teacher who's doing a demonstration who saws his thumb off.
Well, isn't my face red?
I don't know if you are aware of Emo Phillips as a comedian, Justin, but I know you know him because you watched home movies.
Oh yeah, okay.
So he plays Shannon the bully.
Yes. Now I recognize the voice. Yeah. Yes. As soon as you said home movies, I was like, yeah, he's the bully guy. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Yeah, okay.
And I really feel that home movies has to have been deeply influenced by UHF.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
I can see that chain of events, so I think it's very fitting. And that's probably why Emo Phillips is in home movies, if I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have some stuff like that. You have you get Pamela Finkelstein, like she gets to like come on as the news anchor and right away. Channel 8 is interesting because it's like you have like RJ Fletcher and his like board people.
Yeah.
But one of them is his son, who also is their TV anchor, and like but is also like, you know, one of the like bigwigs in the company. And they basically and so the cameraman for like their remote stuff is Noodles McIntosh, and he is played by Billy Barty, who is a little person that is very recognizable. I know I've seen him in a lot of stuff from around this era.
Yeah.
I can't think of what right now, but I know that he was like pretty prolific.
I'm sure
in the 80s.
Yeah.
You'll know him when you see him.
Yeah.
They trip him and like cause the broadcast to go under, and they're like really sexist towards Pamela.
Yeah.
And it also
it's important to note that it was the boss's son that tripped him and says a line because it comes up at the very end.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love I love RJ's son. Like there's something about his voice
that
I really love. It's like so simpering.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
but like Yale yuppie simpering. Like,
right.
Oh, did I do that? Oopsie.
Noodles, those things are fragile. You should be more careful.
Here he is now. I think that we should be able to...
Hey, sweetheart, take my advice. Broads don't belong in broadcasting.
But it also gives you a chance to like just show even further how like much of a scumbag RJ is, because when she calls to complain, you know, he says, "Oh, I've told those boys time and time again, never call chicks broads."
Yeah.
Every chance that he gets, he's just the worst asshole. It's great.
Yeah.
During this series of events, George does make like a special bulletin on the broadcast, inviting Terry and her folks to a birthday dinner, which is very important.
Yeah, it is. And can I point out that Terry has one of the ugliest dresses I have ever seen. It's
at
terrible.
The dinner. Yes.
Oh my God.
She's the perfect pretty little princess, Justin. I don't know.
Oh my God. It is that. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think if that was the choice of attire for the woman I was dating, I would probably reevaluate the relationship.
Yeah, it's
I know that's like really shallow, but it's just our tastes do not align.
It's that bad. Like it's just that bad. Like I remember, like immediately I was like, whoa, that's not a good look.
And George and Bob are like doing accounting stuff, you know, and they're watching Beverly Hillbillies in the background, which leads to the obligatory music video.
The Dire Straits.
Yes.
Classic 3D
Money for
video.
Nothing.
Yeah, Money for Nothing. Yes.
And I got to say, you know, as it was with a lot of music of this time period, I heard the Weird Al version first. And it's probably a long time before I heard the actual.
You know what?
Version.
I don't know if I've actually ever heard this version of the song. So
really?
That's interesting. Yeah.
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 I knew what they were parodying because I had seen like bits and pieces of it, like on TV ads.
Yeah.
I think for MTV. Because it was, you know, it was a pretty like revolutionary music video at the time. It was like the first use of CG.
I'd definitely seen it there. And that's why, because they did all the CG stuff and all that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I had seen the Weird Al version, I don't remember. So yeah.
It's a decent Weird Al song. It's not bad. It's far from his best, but you know, it's solid. It's really just an excuse to have George fall asleep and then wake up and forget that he has an appointment. And it's also when you get the bad news that the station's going to be
going broke. Yeah.
Yeah. By the end of the week, like, you know,
right.
And you get like him like kind of lamenting like, oh, I really thought that this was going to be the one.
Yeah.
At least I have Terry. And then, you know, she calls and breaks up with him because it's been like 9:30 at this point. Like, he blew way past the dinner date.
Yeah.
Which leads to the next day where we come back to Uncle Nutsy's clubhouse and George. I've actually quoted this on Nerds Without Pants because it's one of my favorite things.
Okay.
Which is when he introduces the like the Roadrunner cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like a great like depressed monologue.
It's funny because my friend Lonnie is a big Weird Al fan, and watching this exact bit, I was like, oh, this is where he gets this from. I see.
Oh, does he do that?
Oh, he does. He does like the tone changes a lot, like yes, all the time.
Okay,
and I was like, okay, I see it now. This is where we drew this influence from. Okay, I did like that bit. It was good.
Right now, I'd like to show you one of my favorite cartoons. It's a sad, depressing story about a pathetic coyote who spends every waking moment of his life in the futile pursuit of a sadistic roadrunner who mocks him and laughs at him as he's repeatedly crushed and maimed. Hope you enjoy it!
So when you say the tone changes, you do the stuff like I just don't know what's wrong with me.
Like
so
just really loud and then like back to depressed again? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Lonnie's my people.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you would love him.
He doesn't want to be there, and you know, he knows it's over anyway, and so he decides that he just like leaves the studio and tells Bob he's going to go to the to the bar. He's like, you don't drink. He's like, I've been meaning to start.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just gives the show to Stanley because Bob's like, well, what about the show? And he's like, Stanley, you want to host a show?
Yeah.
Get in there. and then they both go to the bar, and it's like one of the things that I love about UHF is it's so quintessentially 80s.
Yeah.
Because like really what it is the scrappy underdog has to take on like the super powerful rich whatever.
Yeah.
And the plot is just always in service of making that happen. So like even though like it has to have only been at max like maybe 20 minutes that Stanley's been on the air, everybody's seen it already.
Right.
Like by the time they get to the bar.
Yes. Somehow. Yes.
Yeah.
It's drawn that much attention. But yeah, he does order Weird Al orders a blueberry daiquiri at a dive bar, which was pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he had like this very nice, like ornate, like tiki mug for it, because it does not look like the type of bar that would have that.
No, it doesn't fit at all. I know from my mother working at bars like that a lot. They don't have that kind of stuff there, and when you order them, usually they're upset about it. Yeah, it's not usually well received. They're like, really? You're going to make me fucking actually make a drink for you? Okay. All right. Sometimes some people are actually like, oh, I actually get to do something fun. Great. Depends. Yeah. Depends on your bartender at a dive bar. Yeah, whether you're going to get a good thing or not. But anyway, then they see Stanley and he's
killing it.
Yeah, being him, and it's pretty. It's good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for a kid's show, right? Like, he does do like a pretty like inspiring speech.
Yeah.
The thing about Stanley is that he loves being a janitor, right?
Yes.
So everything revolves around him being a janitor. Like the mop that is taken from him when he gets fired at Channel 8 is like the mop that his mom gave him for his birthday when he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
It's like his favorite mop.
This is my new mop. George, my friend, he gave me this mop. It's a pretty good mop. It's not as good as my first mop. I miss my first mop. But this is still a good mop. Sometimes you just have to take what life gives you. Because life is like a mop. And sometimes life gets full of dirt and crud and bugs and hairballs and stuff. You got to clean it out. You got to put it in here and rinse it off and start all over again. And sometimes life sticks to the floor so bad. You know, a mop is not good enough. It's not good enough. You got to get down there like with a toothbrush, and you got to really scrub. You got to get it off. You got to really try to get it off. But if that doesn't work, you can't give up. You got to stand right up. You got to run to a window and say, "Hey, these floors are dirty as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore."
It's a good enough speech to like fire up everybody at the bar and get George and Bob to like run back to the studio.
Right.
And then, phones ringing off the hook. They've got messages like, and
all the
like
sponsors are in.
Yes. And, they do, George gets Stanley to agree to do the show every day, as long as Stanley can still be the janitor.
Yes. He wants to be the janitor. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is kind of where it starts to kick off as far as, we get to see like a pretty quick rise of the Stanley Spadowski show.
Yes.
Where it goes from like the really rinky dink set to like a slightly better set to then like a really like impressive studio audience and props and everything.
Yeah.
And this is also where, George starts to come up with some new ideas.
Which, yes,
for programming.
This is where the thing really kicks off.
Yeah.
I can't remember all of them. The good one, my favorite one, got funnier the more I thought about it. The more and more I thought about it, the funnier it got to me. And that is the Wheel of Fish. Because you start, okay, the idea is, so it's the karate instructor, I forgot his name.
Cooney.
He is the host of Wheel of Fish. The idea is you can win your body weight in fish. And you have to spin the wheel of fish and it'll land on a fish, and you can either get that fish or you can take the deal and take what's in the box. In this case, in the box is nothing. And the lady takes the box and that's it. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, how do you actually win the Wheel of Fish? They don't ever explain. And that's what's funny about it to me. Like, that's what made it really funny. Because I'm like, no, because I just sat there for like, I don't know, however long, just going, what is the game though?
There's fish on every part of the wheel. So there's no like pet, like you're going to win a fish.
You're going to win a fish, but how do you beat the other contestants? Because the lady was the winner from last week. She continued on.
Yeah.
So I don't like, I want to know what the rest of the game is. Like, how...
A red snapper. It's very tasty. Okay, Weaver, listen carefully. You can hold on to your red snapper, or you can go for what's in the box that Hiro-san is bringing down the aisle right now. What's it gonna be?
I'll take the box. The box.
You took the box. Let's see what's in the box. Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
The one that is funnier for me, the more I think about it, because it took me a really long time to get the joke, is Strip Solitaire.
Oh yeah, no, that one's pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I saw a gag this time because like there is a part where they're like kind of doing their programming lineup.
Yeah.
So I do have to say this was my first time watching my 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And it looked phenomenal. And also,
Nice.
you know, this is one of those rare movies where it fills my whole screen, like it's not letterboxed.
Okay.
So it just looked like massive because
Right.
I've got a massive TV now, and
Yeah.
it's really cool. Pacific Rim does the same thing. I don't know what it's called. I'd actually asked John Golson about this one time because I was like, why is it that like, you know, we all have widescreen TVs now, but like the movies are still letterboxed? Because to me, it should fill the screen now because but the aspect ratio is off.
Yeah.
But he told me what this type of movie is, where like what it was filmed in, but I don't remember what it was. But
okay.
there are certain movies that will fill a whole like 16:9 screen.
Okay.
And this is one of them. It looked really cool.
Nice.
But I noticed that like one of the one of the programs was Bestiality Today, and I'm like, that's edgy.
Yeah, it is pretty edgy. Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's like the Volcano Worshippers Hour.
Volcano Worshippers Hour. Yeah, there's a lot of like lightning quick bits in this, which are pretty good. Like I have to say this was definitely my favorite part of the movie. And then it's pretty much just this for a while. Like it's just kind of lightning fast bits.
There's lots of fun coming your way this weekend on U62. First, slam your way to health as you stay fit with Mike and Spike. Next, everybody's favorite, Chef Bernie invites you to go bowling for burgers. Sunday, be a part of the excitement as we premiere our dazzling new game show, Strip Solitaire. And then, join us for some hilarious fun on the all-new Practical Jokes and Bloopers. And you won't want to miss Celebrity Mud Wrestling with this week's special guest, Mikhail Gorbachev. It's a whole new weekend on U62, the reason television was invented.
Be there.
Yeah, like it's kind of a sprint to the finish at this point because what ends up happening is they end up like becoming the #1 station in town.
Yes.
And that's when RJ notices because one of his guys does like say, hey, U62 is starting to do some stuff. And he's like, I don't care about some fly-by-night UHF station.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. But once they beat them in the ratings, that's when it becomes war. Their sponsors start pulling out. U62 is just doing phenomenal. Like the Stanley Spadowski show is like sold out for months and like they've got all these sponsors. You know, this is also when you get like some of the movie trailers. Like I'm a big mark for Conan the Librarian. I know it's like a super
Conan
obvious
the Librarian
gag.
Was a pretty funny bit. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Sometimes I'll just be like doing nothing and I'll just go, don't you know the Dewey Decimal System?
Yeah.
Which I don't anymore.
No, I don't remember it either. Yeah.
And of course Gandhi 2, which is a personal favorite of mine.
Which one?
Just because Gandhi 2.
Oh, Gandhi 2. I wasn't that high on Gandhi 2, but it was fine. Like, yeah.
It's just so dumb.
It's very dumb.
Yeah. you know,
I think that one was like slightly too cheesy for my personal taste.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
There's one toward like the very end too, where it's another, like it's a Rambo parody where I was just like, I don't know. I don't know about this.
Yeah. I actually appreciate the Rambo parody more every time that I see it, especially now that I've seen the movies, because for a long time I had not. Like, I didn't see like it's specifically like Rambo 3 that it's lampooning.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen Rambo 3 until like, I don't know, 2012, maybe, something around there. So it was a long time before like I actually had like the point of reference to really like get it, other than just like the surface level, like, oh, I get that he's supposed to be Rambo. Like,
good fake muscles though.
The muscle suits,
they're
pretty
really
good.
They're really good.
Yeah. They definitely, you can tell that like that's probably where the rest of the budget went, and and then the other half of it was the music video for Beverly Hillbillies.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, so what ends up happening is RJ is like, who owns that station? And then he finds out that it's George's uncle, and it just so happens that George's uncle lost all of his bets at the racetrack that day and owes the gangster Big Louie $75,000 in cash.
Yes.
And then immediately after that, RJ Fletcher calls, so they make a deal to sell the station for $75,000. But George calls his aunt. She, tells the business to her husband and says, you need to at least give him a chance to, get the money. And so this starts the big climax of the movie, which is the U62 telethon.
Right.
Which I actually have an idea for the stage select one day of doing like kind of like a Patreon, like a subathon type thing.
Sure.
But like do like maybe like an 8 hour long like live stream or something where we get like friends of the show like Mike and John and Retrofits and stuff like that to just come on and do stupid shit.
Sure.
And like try to see like how many like see if we can hit certain goals and stuff like that. I think it would be a lot of fun, but it'd also be like a lot to produce.
That'd be a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's no time soon.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, I don't even know how we'd go about that.
Yeah. But it is a dream of mine because just because I think it's dumb. Like the whole telethon thing, like I remember
telethons were pretty dumb back. Yeah. PBS was usually the telethon station that I always remember anyway. They always had.
I always think of Jerry Lewis.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he would do for it was Jerry's Kids.
Yeah, Jerry's Kids. Yeah, I always remember like PBS was just like, we gotta get this money, guys. We fucking need this money. It's like, all right, I guess.
Well, they super need it now because
they super do
things happening.
Yep,
all the time.
Do? What are you gonna
do? Things are happening all the fucking time.
That's true. That is true.
But yeah, so this is, and again, sprint to the finish. It's like
it really is.
Yeah, like Stanley's putting on an amazing show. Like he's really keeping the crowd riled up. It's going really well. And then because RJ, I should have mentioned, RJ has like some actual like mafia goons in his employ.
Yes. Which the head one is one of my favorite like mafia bad guys of all time. Like that guy's great.
He's in The Sopranos, in later seasons.
I can't remember if it's later or like in the middle.
It might be middle.
I think it's in the middle. He was
like
the
season
guy
4 and 5, maybe.
Not spoilers for Sopranos. He's the guy who dated Tony's sister, I believe, or something like that. I keep thinking like he almost married her or some shit. Or am I thinking I might be confusing what he did? But he was a shitbag. I remember him very well. And he's also I swear he's like the head bad guy in another one too. I almost want to say it's Carlito's Way, but I don't think that's right. Cannot remember.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. And he's one of those guys where it's like, oh, before you became an actor, you were an actual
It's
mafioso.
possible. It's entirely possible.
Him and the guy who plays Paulie Walnuts in Sopranos, who was a made man, like before he got on the show,
right?
Like they just have a certain aura about them where it's like, oh, you're legit.
Mm-hmm.
Like these other guys are like pretending, but you're drawing off of like personal experience.
Yeah.
And his voice is so good.
Oh, it's great. Oh, he's an absolute scumbag at all times. Like I've never liked him. Like I love him but like you never like him. Like he's so hateable at all times.
hey, Noodles, these cameras are fragile. You should be more careful.
Yeah.
I can't do it, but he's
good.
fantastic.
He's great. He's great.
Not a named character in this. He's just the head goon.
He is head thug, I believe. Yeah. Yes. And I forgot his name. I should have looked it up.
I meant to jot it down in my little facts.
I can Google it.
The thugs come and kidnap Stanley from the studio, and it takes Stanley a really long time to figure out that he's been kidnapped.
I forgot. I have to mention the one joke that absolutely made me groan, and I'm sorry to mention it.
No, I want to know.
The guy in the apartment with the Animal Kingdom thing. The original bit, that bit's great. That bit, it was really funny. He shakes the ant farm. I thought I was like, okay, that's pretty good. It's when they show up with his oh my god, I said the joke before. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do a fucking Blazing Saddles joke, aren't they? And I just like kind of groaned when I was just like, oh, okay, all right.
But his delivery's so good.
It's fine. Like I'm just like, that's so corny. I don't know.
No, I get it. I love Raoul's Wild Kingdom too much. I love teaching poodles how to fly.
That bit is good. I loved that. That was funny. Raoul's Wild Kingdom was funny.
Where did you find this guy?
Me? I thought you hired him.
For those of you just joining us, today we're teaching poodles how to fly. Come here, Foofy. Foofy. Are you psyched? Are you ready? Okay. Here we go. Get ready and fly! Oh, man. You know, sometimes it takes them a little longer to learn how to do it right. Okay, come on. Cheer up. Hey, who's next? Gigi. Oh, man.
Yeah. Where'd you find this guy? I thought you hired him.
Yeah. David Proval is the name of that one guy, and he is 82 years old now.
Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've only seen him in UHF and Sopranos, but I was super hyped when he showed up in Sopranos.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else he's in. I'm looking now. It might just be the Sopranos that I know him from. He was in 4 Rooms, which is a weird movie that
I saw that once, but
yeah, me too.
It was a long time ago.
He's in The Phantom at some point. I'm not sure what he did in The Phantom, but he was in it.
Oh, was he the evil that got slammed?
It's possible. Still looking here. There's got to be a different movie that I've possibly seen him in, but maybe not. Smoking Aces he was in. King of New York's the one I remember him from. But yeah, I think that's it. He's great.
Yeah. Like he's used well in this movie. Like he's not, it's not a bit part. He's actually like one of the main villains.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, really, like they don't. No, I think that's not right. They do name RJ's son. I just don't remember what it was because I think he only says it once.
Let's see if I can find it, because might be able to find it. Hard to say. I gotta go all the way back though.
Some of these actors, like I only really associate with UHF. The guy who played Bob, I remember seeing him pop up in commercials here and there after UHF came out, but I don't think I ever saw him in like an actual TV or movie role.
His name is David Bowe.
Yes.
Bowe. Let's see, what else was he in? Now I'm curious. Nothing I've ever heard of, admittedly.
Sounds about right.
Made in America? I've never heard of that movie, but it's apparently a movie you can watch, I think.
Made like MAID?
MADE. In America.
Okay, no.
Back to the Beach. Yeah, none of these movies are actual movies that anybody's ever seen. Okay. A lot of weird stuff. I'm trying Trinidad Silva is Raul.
Yeah, and he was killed by a drunk driver before the movie wrapped.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, he was supposed to show up again during the telethon stuff.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Because I wondered, he kind of just disappears. I kind of wondered. I didn't really even think about it at the time because the movie's so rapid fire with everything that, like, a lot of it I was just like, again, don't think too hard about it. Don't try to look for a resolution. But, yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm just looking for if RJ's son had a name, but I'm not 100% sure I can find it. And anyway, continue on with what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, I should point out I glossed over an important part of the plot. Well, actually, two things. There is a beggar that comes back for like recurring bits where he's asking for change.
Yes.
I really love him. I love his voice. And the first time that you see him, he asks George for change, and George, grabs some change from his pocket, and he's like 85, 95, $1. Then he puts like a dollar bill in George's hand, and he's like, "Thanks, mister." He asks for change from RJ Fletcher, and RJ Fletcher gives him a single penny.
Yes.
And the other thing is that but right before the telethon starts, Philo actually sets up a surveillance camera in RJ Fletcher's office.
Important to know.
Yes. So after Stanley gets kidnapped, and they're trying to figure out where he is and everything, they have no idea. The next morning, because it's a 48-hour telethon that they're doing, Terry shows up to the Channel 8 office and talks to RJ Fletcher in his office, like pleading on behalf of U62 and saying, George didn't send me, he's just doing something really great over there. Why can't you just compete in the same thing? Like, it's good for the community. And then RJ just goes off about the community, and Philo back at the station sees this happening and records it. And then at a certain point, Stanley is just annoying the shit out of the thugs, right? They're only supposed to keep him basically through the course of the telethon to sabotage the donations. But they want, one of them just straight up, he wants him dead. He cannot stand Stanley.
Yeah.
And eventually they lock him in a closet, but then he complains that the blindfold came off.
Yeah.
And so, the main thug is tries to talk to him, and he's like, "Listen, you need to be quiet. These guys want to cut your tongue out." But then in the background, Stanley sees his mop.
Yes.
And then has a just superhuman bursts of strength, breaks out of his bonds, tackles the guys, grabs his mop, uses it like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And then, they chase him through the offices. And at a certain point, they chase him down and they hold him at gunpoint in RJ's office. And so that's when Philo sees it. He tells George.
Yes.
And I love the fact that George is like, "I'll handle this."
Yeah.
And he doesn't get in his car. He just starts hoofing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was, I would have played the bit that after he got done daydreaming, because this is where the Rambo bit takes place.
Yeah.
After he gets done daydreaming, I would have been like, he never left the parking lot. And he goes, "Oh, right. I drove here." And then he drives to the place. That's how I would have played it. But
that would be the perfect way to do that today.
Yeah. Right.
If you were doing this movie now, that's exactly how that would end.
Yeah. That's how I would have wrote it. But yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both. I'm good with both ways.
Right.
I do have to say, I'm a huge
how they do it.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of the whole Rambo bit. I think that his impression of Stallone, just the facial expression and stuff,
of Stallone is actually good. It's actually a good impression, I have to say. Yeah.
And there's just a lot of funny bits that I didn't notice the first few times around, when he gets to Stanley's cell and he's looking through this little slot. And it, it makes it look like it's this really dark enclosed thing, and then it cuts and it's this wide open, you could actually Stanley could have just walked through the bars because he's so skinny,
right,
and even it's not locked, it's just a latch for a a back door, like a backyard fence. You just open it. It's really easy. I love the fact that he mows down 30 dudes with one burst of gunfire, and then one shot rings out and he's just motherfucker, and then just fires the gun for 30 seconds continuously and just blows everything up. And then you get the helicopter bit where he's just bombing stuff and going, "Oh!" which I'm a fan. It's a bit much, especially because they do it a few too many times.
I feel like it went on for too long somehow. That was my judgment of it. I was like, it goes on a little too long.
Yeah. And then it cuts to the real world where he breaks down the door and he does the roar again, but then they're like, who's this kid? And he's like, I'm your worst nightmare. And it's really good. Like, you know, they immediately pull the gun on him because of course they do, because like I don't know what he thought he was going to do.
Yeah, right.
And then this is like, we alluded to it earlier, but this is a joke that I think is like simultaneously of its time and also like very fun. Because like they hear a noise and they go to the supplies closet and they open the door and it's Cooney and all of his students.
Yes.
And you know the joke is that it's surprise, but it sounds like supplies, but they're saying supplies.
They
like,
are
because
saying
it's
supplies.
the supplies closet.
It is a supplies closet. Yeah.
So you know, it works on a couple levels, and you know, basically like off screen they just beat the shit out of the guys, and then we're literally at the end.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
They bring Stanley back. You know, he makes a speech. RJ shows up and basically like Big Louie is right about to, like, he's driving up and you know, like George's like, hey uncle, like, you know, we're gonna have the money. It might be just a few minutes later than we planned. He's like, hey kid, I give you all the time you want, but like Big Louie is pretty punctual. And so then when Big Louie shows up, he's like, okay, all right, RJ, you win. Like, you know, let's sign this deal and you know, give me the money. And RJ, you know, he has to like posture. And I should say before that, he gets on his own station to make like an editorial about what's going on at U62, and that's when Philo plays, you know, the footage of him just like pissing all over like the town and
the people in it, because I don't know if we mentioned it, but what's her name, his girlfriend Terry went to talk to him and they recorded it.
This community means about as much to me as a festering ball of dog snot.
You think I care about the pea-brained yokels of this town?
If you took their combined IQ and multiplied it by 100, you might have enough intelligence to tie your shoe. If you didn't drool all over yourself first.
I can't stand those sniveling maggots. They make me want to puke.
But there is one good thing about broadcasting to a town full of mindless sheep. I always know I've got them exactly where I want them.
So now that got played on their station and all this stuff, and it's very 80s. It's
very 80s.
It's one of those.
But instead of like admitting defeat, like he still like tries to show up and you know like make a big show of it and everything, and he gets on the mic to like basically, you know, talk down to all of these young people that are into this subversive programming and whatnot. But then the old guy who was asking for change, you know, comes up to George and says, hey, do you have any more of those shares? I'll take whatever you got left. He's got $2,000 on him, which happens to be exactly what they need. So they get all the money together, give it to Big Louie, sign the contract. The station's ours. Hooray. Like, you know, we saved the rec center.
Right. Pretty much. You know, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, man, we definitely saved the rec center. Yeah.
And it is like swift retribution because of that broadcast. The FCC notices that they're behind on like re-upping their title or something like that.
Their license or something. I can't remember.
Instead of fining them, they're like, no, we're just revoking your license. You're off the air immediately. And then an old lady who saw the broadcast like needs him in the junk. The old beggar like
explains to him that the penny that he gave him was worth $2,000 or more than that, even, I think.
More than that, and he also bought a Rolex, which is what
he bought a Rolex and shows. It's pretty good.
Noodles trips RJ's son and he falls in the mud.
His name is Richard Fletcher. I forgot to mention that earlier. I did look it up. He's played by John Paragon. Richard Fletcher. That's what his name was apparently.
That sounds like what somebody who's doing like a parody YouTube retrospective of Mass Effect would call
I could see
Shepard.
I could see it. But that's at least his acting name.
Philo says that his work there is done and he has to return to his home planet. And then he just turns into an alien and teleports away when nobody sees it.
That's what happens.
Terry and George get back together. Then that's the end of the movie.
Perfectly fine movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's my favorite movie. I was still laughing out loud.
I can see it. Yeah.
I love the kid drinking from the fire hose, which I didn't mention during Stanley's show.
That is pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good bits in it. There definitely is. There are some where I'm just like, oh, okay, all right, but like usually, it's such a rapid fire movie that like it's just how comedy is. Where like, yeah, you're not gonna hit with everything. So if you take a shotgun approach, which this movie kind of does.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
More of a machine gun approach.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And, it's a super quick movie. It's like right over 90 minutes.
Yep.
And especially like once you get to the telethon, like it's like, oh, this movie's over.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Again, it is very much a product of its time.
Mm.
I didn't see it right when it came out, but I rented it on VHS not that long after this. I meant to mention this is a movie that when we used to go to Farmore, I would rent this movie and I would watch it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And then when we would go back to return it, I would immediately re-rent it.
Okay.
And when Farmore closed, I bought that VHS
There
copy.
you go. That's
like I was probably the only person who rented that movie.
Yeah.
And I wore I didn't wear out the copy completely, but I mean I watched the hell out of that. And I currently own 3 different versions of UHF. I have it on DVD, Blu-ray, and Ultra HD.
Nice. That sounds right.
I should also mention like a fun fact is that Weird Al did most, if not all, of like the score.
I can see that.
Most of the background music and stuff like that. Even like there's a part where his uncle is like hanging out at the pool and he's listening to like this hard rock song, and that's also a Weird Al.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And there is like an original song that he did. Well, I guess 2, because I think he did do Beverly Hillbillies for this movie.
I think,
but also
so?
the song that plays during the credits was an original.
Okay. Yeah.
Like an original Al song for the movie. It's called UHF. I don't know if I'll do this every time. Again, this is going to be like a very evolving type of podcast.
Right.
We'll see how this goes, and also how the listeners like react to it, and any suggestions they have or whatnot. Like this is going to be a very malleable show. I was like curious about, what did Ebert say about this?
Yeah,
because I could see him digging it, because like sometimes Roger Ebert would like really schlocky shit.
Yeah,
and you kind of never knew. No, he gave this 1 star.
Yeah,
and he said, "This is the dreariest comedy in many a month, a depressing slog through recycled comic formulas. Those who laugh at UHF should inspire our admiration. In these dreary times, we must treasure the easily amused."
There you go.
So treasure me.
There you go. Treasure Julian.
Yes.
No, I laughed too. It has some good bits. Some good bits that hold up pretty well. Like I said, Wheel of Fish was really good. Like especially like the more I thought about it.
Yeah. Also, I just love Cooney's delivery.
He's great.
Like, all of his lines.
Yeah, he's very enthusiastic. It's good.
Yeah, and his facial expressions too. Like when it shows that the box is empty and he has that look of shock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just a fun time.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm really glad that I got to share this with you. Like, I'm glad that you didn't hate it. Like, I thought you might like it more, but I'm glad that it wasn't like, oh, Julian.
No, definitely not like a total like, oh my god, I can't believe I had to watch this type of thing. No, it was completely fine. I'm not like, oh my god, best thing ever, but like, but definitely was not upset that I watched it for sure.
Very cool. Well, that is my first offering for Cinemorons, Justin.
All right.
But it's your turn for next month.
That's true. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to nominate something that I feel like Julian has definitely seen, and I have definitely seen. I know I have seen it. But we'll see. And it's an anime movie that I have not watched in over 20 years. I bought the good Blu-ray of it, and I want to watch it. Okay. So this is my excuse to watch the movie Perfect Blue.
I have never seen Perfect Blue.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it in 20 years. I remember really liking it when I was in high school. So like I remember being like kind of amazed by it back then. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see
I know
it's
definitely in that like prestige anime movie hierarchy. It's like Akira, Perfect Blue, Grave of the Fireflies, right? I will say I didn't like Akira, and I've never seen Grave of the Fireflies either.
Akira is kind of nonsense, but maybe we'll get into that another time.
Perhaps, yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's like it was a lot of people's first anime, and so it was mind blowing. But it was not my first anime.
For animation quality wise, I would say it's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Storyline wise, another story.
Yeah.
It's missing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We'll put it like that.
I do remember being like extremely confused by the movie.
Oh yeah. No, and that's both by design and because they just skip a lot of stuff.
Right.
Apparently. From what I've heard. But yeah, no, Perfect Blue. I remember really liking it. I liked it better than Akira, like at least storyline wise. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. All right. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And hopefully y'all look forward to the next episode. Again, first time we've done this. Let us know what you think, and open to suggestions on like format and whatnot. And do you like us going blow by blow like through the movie? Do you want more of a quick like just overview of it and then our thoughts? Like we could definitely approach it different ways, and it'll probably change also depending on the movie or the show that we're watching, like how we choose to tackle something. I kind of wanted to do UHF more chronologically, simply because like that way we could kind of hit all of the bits that we wanted to talk about. So
that
here
works.
We are.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. I'm glad that we have something that's for executive producers. Thank you for being patient and kind of sticking it out on a tier where you weren't really getting a lot of like extra bang for your buck. But we appreciate you supporting us. Yes, now you get this, and hopefully it is worth the wait. But we will see you next month for the next episode of Cinemorons. We'll see you at the movies.